I was tired, girl. I slept my first year after college. That's all I did, sleep. But because I struggled so much in undergrad, I think just having too much on my plate, I attacked nursing school with a vengeance. I'm in my 20s now. There's no excuse. I have less distractions unless I invite them in my life. I'm going with this full force. Ain't no full scholarship for me for nursing school now. I already did that. I can't waste it.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Bedside Report, where the voices of Black and Brown nurses matter most. And I'm your host, Shanice. And I am super excited today because I have a good old friend of mine who decided to take time out of her busy schedule to come on and chat with me this morning. My girl, Aisha. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Shanice. Girl, it is a pleasure.
So, like I said, Aisha is very busy these days. We actually tried to catch up a little bit before we got started, and I think it's been 4 years since.
Mm-hmm. We
Yes,
had a catch-up session, yes.
yes,
Yeah.
a real compact catch up session. So, anyway, my girl is a nurse practitioner. She's a mother of two. Just busy, right? Very
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so we'll get into like your story, how you got into nursing, all that good stuff, what you're doing now. So go ahead, tell the people who you are. Well, I already told them who you are. You are Aisha. But
Yeah.
but go ahead and get started.
So I'm a family nurse practitioner. I'm also a certified personal trainer, trying to blend the two worlds personally for myself first, and then hoping to help, any and every community that I can reach. I work in urgent care currently. I absolutely love urgent care. I think it is my jam. It is like sub ER, and sub ER was probably another place I'd find myself. But I like to enjoy life outside of work.
Yeah.
And so urgent care offers me that because I get to work 312s. And where else as a nurse practitioner can you work 312s? So
Yeah.
I'm hanging on to that for dear life. Procedures, in the urgent care setting, you will see a bunch of different things. I love that. You never know what's going to walk through the door, girl. It
Yeah.
could be a laceration, and while you're suturing this one person, a heart attack can walk in. Somebody with abdominal pain and diarrhea, IVs, somebody who got hit in the nose with their toddler sippy cup, want to make sure the nose ain't it's all kind of things. And of course, your simple sick visits and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's good. And I'm baby stepping away from traditional medicine and working my way into my own business, my own wellness business. So
Wow.
yeah.
You got really busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So all right. So you're at the urgent care now. How long have you been at the urgent care?
A year and a half in the urgent care. I've been a nurse practitioner since 2020, and I have to give a special shout out to this girl that we both know mutually. Her name is Mariah Smith, and in the throes of 2020, I you could call it anxiety, a lack of confidence, being overwhelmed because it was COVID, and I still had to study and pass my exam. And every 5 minutes, Mariah would be like, "Girl, did you take your test? Did you take your test? Did you take your test?"
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Mariah in a while, but if you see this girl, I love you. You're dope, and thank you for pushing me to get that over with. So thanks to
Yeah.
her motivation, I've been an MP for 5 years now.
Yes. Shout out to Mariah.
Yeah,
Shout out
shout
to
out to
Mariah.
Mariah.
Mariah, if you're watching this,
Dope.
I actually got an interview with her too. So no, Mariah, she's a great friend. She's a great
She's
motivator. I
dope.
mean, she is
She's
very
dope.
dope. Very dope. So
Yeah,
shout out to you, girl.
Mhm. And so, yeah, things have been really great. I honestly forgot the question you asked me. So before I ramble,
No,
what?
it's so this is the place where you get to ramble, okay? Because at the end of the
Okay.
day, your story is going to inspire or motivate somebody else. So look, I'm all for the rambling, okay?
Yeah.
It's all important, it's all relative. So
Oh
um,
yeah. So urgent care. I've been in urgent care for a year and a half. I'll make my second year in the urgent care setting in November, and I'm trying to squeeze it out because let me get them 2 years, and then I'm gonna go on about my business. Um, but I started. I wouldn't kind of. nurse practitionering during 2020. I started at a wellness clinic because I knew that was the avenue that I wanted to go
Right.
down. Chiropractic wellness clinic, and it didn't give what it needed to give. I was just back there giving trigger point injections with arnica gel instead of like steroids, which people usually get injected. So
Sure.
something natural to help relieve local pain when you
Mm-hmm.
got knots all up and down your back, kind of thing. And I got pregnant with my first kid like a couple weeks after starting that job. And so
Oh,
I was like, deuces, because that was in Colorado. And I moved to Texas, back to Texas, where I'm originally from. I'm
right.
from Southeast Texas, but I moved to Austin. Because, coming from Colorado is gorgeous. It's
Yes, it is.
beautiful. I'm an outdoorsy girl. I
Yes.
love to hike and bike and do all the things. And as you know, Houston is flat and ain't nothing down there but the bayou and some gators.
All right.
And I love it. I'm not dissing Houston. I'm from Port Arthur, Texas, and that's 90 miles southeast.
Port Arthur. Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, I just wanted to go somewhere that would be the next best thing that's close to my family. And there's so many gorgeous hikes in Central Texas. So many. There's no shortage of fun to be had out here. We're about to go stand up paddling as soon as we wrap up this interview. Like,
Oh,
it's
nice.
gorgeous. Yeah, there's a DJ on the water and like a inflated boat. Just
Wait, where's this?
yes, girl, Lady Bird Lake. Okay,
Let-
downtown Austin. Yes, get
I
you a
heard Austin is it though, because I
come
don't
visit
know if I
me
told
before
you
I
I
go.
moved to Houston, right?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So I mean, I'm
Mhm.
not there currently, but either
Mhm.
way, when I go back, but no, I heard Austin it has a lot of things going on.
It is dope. It's a lot of fun. If you get a free weekend and you need to come kumbaya, I know a really nice retreat type. It's a vegetarian compound and it's called Casa de Luz Village. And you might see a fucking monk walking out of there. It's so peaceful. I'm not exaggerating.
I need that right now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's different rooms for elixirs and wellness, smoothies, juices,
Hmm.
sound meditation, yoga, stretching, all
Okay.
kind of stuff, and cafeteria style food. And it's steps away from the stand up paddle girl. And so
Mhm.
if you need a little weekend getaway, come and relax with your girl. Come hang out before I move to Costa Rica.
Yes. So I know you're going to Costa Rica. So when are you going?
We fly out May 20th. We're flying out 5 days before my kid's second birthday because you got to pay for them tickets after 2. So we're gonna catch her 5 days early,
There
so
you
we
go.
get buy one get one free special.
There
Okay.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, so that's soon. I saw you looking at your watch. Yeah, we're in the process of packing things. I'm working my last few shifts at the urgent care, and then I'm dropping. I am PRN now, but my requirement is 4 shifts a month, and we're gonna see how that goes because I want to live in Costa Rica. So as long as
Sure.
they're flexible with me, I'm gonna be flexible with them.
There it
And
is.
I'm gonna pop in, work a couple shifts, and then go back to Costa Rica. As long as it works
And
for however long it
how
takes.
long of a flight is that?
Girl, just 3 hours from Houston.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. We're in Austin, so unfortunately, there's no direct flights from Costa Rica. So we stop through Houston every time. But from Houston, it's literally just the three. I think 3.5, but if I recall, it's just 3 hours. Nothing more than.
Girl,
Yeah, it's quick. It's quick.
I'm there. Tell Boo I'm coming too.
It's quick. That's what
I'm
I told
coming.
my parents because they're like, "Oh, you're taking the grandbabies," and I'm like, my mom is here in Austin, but my dad is in Port Arthur still, and it will take
Okay.
me 3.5, 4 hours to drive there. And I'm like, it's the same distance in flight. It's really not a big deal. I'm just going down the street. I mean, come on. I've lived in multiple states all this time. There should be no surprise that I'm about to go somewhere else.
Nothing
So,
at all. I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie. So even when you told me you were moving to Costa Rica, I said Costa Rica.
Hmm.
It just sounds far, right?
It does. It does. I mean, if you
So
walk in, it's pretty far. So,
right. So when you
yeah.
said that, I was like, I mean, I wasn't surprised because you're like me, like you're a world traveler. So,
Hmm.
but no, it just sounded far. But wow. So no, I'm really happy for you. That's gonna be beautiful. I
Hmm.
mean,
Very excited.
well, good. Well, good. So look, I'm gonna backtrack just a tad bit. So, where did you actually go to nursing school?
I went to nursing school for my BSN at Denver School of Nursing. That's how I ended up in Colorado.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then I got my master's from Samuel Merritt University out of
Mm.
Oakland. Yep. hmm
I was
Both
just in Oakland.
great programs. I think they prepared me for the best. Were they expensive? Yes. But I mean, all school is expensive. Even if it's just a 20K program, it ain't $5. So I just, and so I just did what I had to do. But I
Yeah.
really loved both programs. I think I chose both of them for, it was just a timing thing. At the time I was ready to go, those are the people who said yes first. And I'm like, all right, we're going for it. So,
Oh, good, good.
mhm.
So you got your BSc in Colorado,
Yeah.
and then you went and got your NP at Samuel Merritt.
Yep. Yep.
So how was nursing school for you? Was it like easy breezy, or was it like? Because I know my
Nursing
experience.
school, nursing school, I will say time management wise was the hardest, but grasping the concept of nursing, and all that it requires. I won't call it easy breezy. It took work, it took focus, but I didn't struggle. I didn't struggle at all. I struggled a lot in undergrad because I was a student athlete and I played 2 sports in college. And I transferred schools and still graduated in 4 years. So I failed some classes in undergrad, okay?
Oh,
And
hell,
I
I did
wasn't
too.
focused. Yeah, I wasn't focused. I was playing 2 sports. I was
What did you
tired.
play?
Softball and volleyball.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was tired, girl. I slept my first year after college. That's all I did, sleep, you know? But because I struggled so much in undergrad, I think just having too much on my plate, I attacked nursing school with a vengeance. I was like, I'm in my 20s now. There's no excuse. I have less distractions unless I invite them in my life. I'm going with this full force. Ain't no full scholarship for me for nursing school now. I already did that full scholarship. Now I'm paying for this. I can't waste it,
For nurse practitioner.
for nursing, for my BSN and for my NP. So
Mm.
I blew through those programs like a freight train. I wasn't playing. So it wasn't hard for me because I was locked in.
And that's important because it's really easy to get distracted. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I like what you said. In terms of distractions, unless you invite them in. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like other than that, you should be good to go. I think, but that's for anything. So that's some good advice.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. The reason I asked you about that because I know nursing school. It was my second degree, and girl, it was a challenge.
Yeah.
It was a challenge.
hmm
It was because it was almost like learning. It was a different language, especially with nursing tests. Oh
Oh,
my goodness!
how
I'm
they
like,
trick you.
I was like, wait, it's 4 answers and like they all right, but which one is
One is more right.
more right? Like what?
hmm
Like how does
hmm
that work? So yeah, and then like I said, and then just to anybody who's listening, like I said, in terms of we got seasoned nurses or nursing students listening, but just kind of stay the course because I know me, I failed 2 classes, and had I failed another one, it was gonna be a wrap for me. So
hmm
just don't give up because
Yeah.
and
Don't give up and don't get frustrated. And once you get your hands on a patient, everything will start to make more sense.
yes, for
It's
sure.
really hard to understand the concepts of nursing when you're just looking at black or white concepts or things that should not be black or white, but you're only doing it from a book or from what your instructor does. So get your hands dirty, do
Yeah,
hands on, call, phone a friend, practice on somebody every day, and it'll
no,
make
for
more
sure,
sense.
for
Mhm.
sure. So were you? Because how you have some people who they're book smart, and then you see them in clinical, and they're like they don't know what to do.
Mhm.
What
A lot of those. A lot of those.
I saw that a lot. I'd be like, and that's the thing. Like I said, I didn't test well. I mean, I love learning the things like the theory part,
Mhm.
but no, if I went when I went to clinical, it was on.
Yeah.
Like that was my thing. But
Yeah.
no, like kind of connecting the dots that's important too. That's why it's important to have a good clinical instructor too. You know
That's
what I mean?
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
You ever thought about being one?
Um. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have?
If I could do it on my own time, that's my only struggle, right? It's like that's probably why I'm not in doing ICU or ER or all these other CRNA because I want to come and go.
And
And
that's
so
nothing wrong with that.
PRN.
Hmm.
But I definitely would do that, especially like the simulator lab and doing all the hands-on things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a tactile learner. That's how I learn best, by doing.
Okay.
And I think I would be great at that. So it's something that I'll consider. Maybe once I'm in my 40s or something. Give me a little more time.
I got you. I got you. So, what made you go the NP route?
Um. Okay. So I guess for me, the better question is, why did I become a nurse? And I became a nurse because I wanted to be a nurse practitioner.
So you always knew you wanted to be a nurse practitioner.
Well, I always knew I wanted to be in medicine to some degree. I was exposed to it. My mother worked for an ambulance company, and that was really cool. I used to be under her desk eating burritos and watching her take the calls.
Really?
Yeah. And so healthcare was just always like so intriguing to me. But I worked at a Emory Sports Medicine Clinic in North Druid Hills.
What?
Yeah, girl.
I didn't know you had Emory ties. Okay.
Yes. Okay. I worked for the sports medicine clinic. They were the team physicians for the Falcons, Georgia Tech, Atlanta Dream. It was a great experience. I started there as a PSR because you got to start from somewhere. I'd had my CNA since my junior year in high school because they did like transitional vocational programs, kind of like how they do early college now.
Yeah.
But girl, the first time I stepped foot in a nursing home, I was like, no, I will not be doing this. I will not be being a CNA for 10 years and then becoming, and no offense, but where in the environment I was in, there was a lot of like abuse to CNA staff, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're taking care of 40 patients, and some nursing homes are not the best environments, right? Like, just from staffing shortages alone.
Right.
And once I witnessed that, I was like, nah, I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna go work at Texas Roadhouse till I'm really, really ready to be in medicine. And so fast forward to Emory Sports Medicine, I started there as a PSR girl while working in Abercrombie because I need some exposure. I need these nursing schools to see that I'm trying to be in medicine so I can get
Okay.
there. And talking to the doctors, talking to the surgeons, they were like, Aisha, why don't you become a PA? Why don't you go to MD school? I was like, nah, too long. I want to travel. Well, then why don't you become a PA or NP? So and come work with us. And so I decided to start researching the medical model versus the nursing model. And at that point, once I realized that, the medical model, and I know some wonderful MDs and PAs, but they are strictly disease focused. And it's much less holistic than the nursing model, where we look at the whole person, right?
Right.
As it
Absolutely.
relates to their
Yeah.
disease and
Yeah.
how it affects them, their social determinants of health, their
Yeah.
environment, their
Yes,
finances,
ma'am.
whether or not they're in a food desert, who their family support is, what their religion is, what their sexual orientation, all these things that tie into, let's just say, obesity to start, right? If
Yeah.
you're depressed, you're more at risk for obesity. If you're obese, you're more at risk for being depressed. But if you look at it from the medical model, it's like, okay, let's put you on a program and start these medications to treat this, and that, without factoring in the rest of your entire life that can be contributing or inhibiting you from getting well. And so, as I was doing that research, I fell in love with the nursing approach. I knew it would allow me to get my hands on patients sooner. And I could get that experience from the ground up. And so that's just what I did. I made that decision then with the girl next to me who was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to dental school. And she's a dentist now and doing
Wow.
amazing. Yeah. So I decided I want to be a nurse practitioner just based off of comparison of the medical model versus the nursing model. I think that's very important for people to know the difference, right? And now here we are in 2025, and we're in the days of the podcast, and through podcasts or my own personal encounters of speaking with MDs and PAs, they're like, everybody's starting to tap into wellness. And even in our programs, Shanice, like even in nursing school, well, nursing school is a little bit more about wellness, but they're teaching us about drugs. Pharmacology is a really big subject,
Sure.
right? But in medical school and in nurse practitioner school, nobody's talking about wellness. There's not a lot of education on nutrition. It's like a little chapter,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything else is about medication management or procedures, or just the pathophysiology of disease, right?
Right.
and how we correct that. And so there's a knowledge deficit in wellness and root cause medicine altogether. And now
Absolutely.
that it's trending, everybody's hopping on the train. But what is a shocker, because I never went to medical school, but a lot of doctors are like, yeah, they didn't teach us that. None of that was about this. I'm just learning this now, on my own, as a provider, because I want to help my patients more, and so I did have a little bit of I will say, right after I graduated nursing school, an existential crisis,
Yeah.
because I was like, I don't think I want to do this. I don't think I want to prescribe all these drugs. I don't think I want to, send people to surgery for these things, when if I could figure out the root cause, then we can do this. So it's like, dang, why did I just put myself in more debt if I don't want to do this? If I don't think I want to do this. And my dad, he said something really important. He was like, well, you got to know enough about the subject matter to know why you don't want to do it. You can't come at these patients to say, hey, for your constipation, you should just drink some castor oil. You should just have a little tablespoon of olive oil and help it slip. Get a little slippage in there before you
Yeah.
go with the stimulant laxative. You
Mm-hmm.
know, are you hydrated before I start giving you these drugs to make you poop? Like, let's scale it back a little bit. And so, or Ayurvedic practices, things like that. I'm jumping around, but the point is, he was right. I do need to know enough about traditional medicine and the things that you do, because there's so much like things that medicine do help us with. We do need it. It is an important component, but it's not the only thing. And so
Yes.
to tie those worlds together, I need to be knowledgeable about both worlds. And so,
Yes.
boom, he just jerked me right out of that crisis.
Yeah, I mean, and I would have to agree. I like how he put it. Like, you do need to know enough about that. I think, um, you kind of, I want to say, maybe it gives you more credibility to some degree, but you come with like, okay, this is part of the picture, but it's not the whole picture, right?
Yeah.
And it's a different way. I think that's the beauty of being in nursing. Like, you and I, like, seeing things and be like, that doesn't work. It doesn't have to be that way. But I think,
Mhm.
unfortunately, looking at, even when we look at our healthcare system, not to get too deep, but I think a lot of it obviously is tied back to, capitalism. Like, money, you get paid for people being sick. And then, health is like the ultimate. And it's like, at the end of the day, if people don't know any better, they're going to pay you to make sure they can live, whatever
Yeah.
that looks like, live,
Yeah.
right? Even
Yeah.
if that looks like, okay, you're being admitted into the hospital like once a month.
Yeah,
You
you're
know
just
what I mean?
extending my life a little bit, but really we're not correcting the problem here. But, the hospital's making money and you keeping me here longer because it's going to cost you more if you got to readmit me. So let's just keep doing all these things, throwing all these things at it.
And I really hate to see it, but that's another reason um, I created my nonprofit, which is True Vessel Health.
Hmm.
So I don't even know if we've even talked about it, but it
I
really
don't
kind of,
think we have.
yeah, it really, I saw a need at the bedside, especially with our people being readmitted for things that were manageable, our
Mhm.
high blood pressure, our diabetes, and realizing that nobody is looking at the whole person. Like you were talking about social determinants of health, right? Like, do you live in a food desert? Like your access to quality foods. Even something as simple as, I think it hit me one day, which made me start everything. It's like, so this person's being admitted for high blood pressure. They're not, they don't know which med is which. They don't, we're asking them to keep a log when they go home, but they don't even have a blood pressure monitor. Like, you know what I mean? It's so many like small details that get overlooked. But then we're wondering why they're back here in 2 or 3 weeks. Like,
Yeah,
are we really spending time with the patient? And guess what? Who finds out most of this information? We do, right?
we do. Right
We
there at the
do,
bedside.
right at the bedside. So it's like, that's why I created True Vessel Health, because it's more community focused. So like going out into the community and like having seminars and like little talks and things like, okay, what do you, I know what you need, but it's been people have told me this is what we need. We don't have blood pressure because we don't have all these things. So it's like they were able to confirm, like, okay, so y'all need exactly what I thought y'all needed, because I get to see y'all when you come to the hospital. So all
Mhm.
that to say, it's like really, like you said, getting to the root of it. Like, even if
Yeah.
it's just managing these chronic illnesses, which you can come off of blood pressure medicine, you can come off of your diabetic medication. You know what I mean? So just looking at the whole person. But when you said social determinants of health, I said, oh, that's my topic right there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm sure you see a lot, especially just even in the urgent care setting.
Yeah. And it's a struggle because in healthcare, we're all on a time constraint. We're all on a time constraint. And I think that's where the patient suffers. Because, first of all, fresh out of procedure, doc comes in an hour, like while they're still wearing off anesthesia from a procedure, right? Don't know who, how, when, what, where, or why. And they're
Right.
coming to explain everything to the patient and the family. But imagine the patient is barely alert. The family member is stressed out, tired. Who gonna remember everything that provider said?
Ooh.
And half the time, that provider is like on a time constraint and is hopping from patient to patient, and the nurse can't be found to sync up and make sure you get the story so you can read it later to the patient and family. And then they go home and they're like, "Now what happened? What I was supposed to do?
It happens just like
I
that.
don't understand this discharge information. It just says this, this, and this, and I just got to meet up with the doctor in the month, and in that month's time, no progress. If anything, probably a little bit of a regression, or readmission, right? And that's the thing, is they do need that education. There's no time. That whole commercial is like, what was it about, like phone minutes? And they're like, oh, we got a baby, it's a boy. Remember that? How fast
Nuh-uh.
they were talking? Oh, dang. I wish I could remember. It was like, basically, how at the end of a commercial and they're like rapidly talking about like the side effects of medication, and it's like on some Buster rhymes, like I feel like that's all of us in the hospital, because due to nursing shortage,
Oh my
staffing shortage,
gosh.
us being underpaid,
Oh my goodness.
a lot of the states we work in not having unions, we just get abused. Even the providers are overweight. It's all of us. It's all of us, right? It sucks. But nobody has time to sit there and
Nobody.
like pull up a chair at the bedside and really just explain to the patient, even if you got supportive care, social work, whatever. I just witnessed a social work encounter, and the lady was wonderful. She was like, oh, do the and really like empathetic with whatever the patient's needs were. But this patient does well for himself, has a home, has whatever, got resources in the city, and she like, do you need discounted hotels, or like, girl, this ain't got nothing to do with that. You just reading off of your bullet points.
It's just the way you mocked her. That
So
was
it's like,
uh,
we have the resources there, but sometimes we don't get to zoom in and focus on that patient and let the care really be patient specific, like it should be.
for
Because
sure.
that's the best prevention right there, is education. And people need that education. With all the different teams we have in the inpatient and outpatient setting, we're just swinging and missing a little bit.
A lot of bit.
So, a
A
lot of
lot
bit. Oh, you're
of
right. A lot. I was being nice.
I,
It,
a lot of bit. No, you time constraint. Like, that's exactly how I've explained it to people. I was like, it's really, it's like one of those things where one thing affects the next. So, like, of course, like you said, nursing shortage. We have all these patients, they're than they've ever been. And it's like, and then when a person has discharge papers, like, you got management on your neck to get a patient out. And it's like, what? So
yeah.
I only have X amount of time to discharge and provide thorough education. It's just like really impossible. Like, they're
It
waiting to.
takes the nursing out of nursing, because
It,
I'm supposed to be there rubbing your head and being like, do you understand this? Okay, you don't. Let's go over it again. Instead of, do you understand this? You don't.
that's exactly how it
Because I
goes.
got a patient who is hitting the call button here. I'm supposed to have 3 patients. It's supposed to be a 3 to 4 to 1 ratio, and I got 6. And it's just not finna work out like that today.
It's not. And even with me being here in California where I am, where we know, they have ratios, right?
Yeah.
Even with that, it's and I'm at a good institution, but even then it's like, yes, I do get to do my nursing job. But there are times where it's just I I spend a lot of time with my patients. You know what I mean? I do. I don't to the point where my patients think they the only one I
Ugh.
got.
Yeah, you spoil them. Me
I
too.
spo-
I'm guilty of it too. And in the urgent care setting, that's bad because you're supposed to be turning and burning.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, but essentially it's that same concept in a hospital,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, this person got the discharge order. They want them out of here by 11. Like, oh, what? So
Yeah.
you get EVS come clean this bed and turn it green on the board. So it's somebody already decided that bed.
And
Look,
let's not forget that nurses, we are also EVS. We are also cafeteria. We are also pharmacy. We are all these things, and we're also a nurse because we're not gonna always call EVS to sweep up the vomit on the floor because if you don't get there fast enough, one of us up in here is gonna slip and fall.
true, true.
So it's like we wear many hats. We wear many hats, and we're in a pressure cooker, and it's concerning because it's if it's all about the patients, why is it not all about the patients?
That was good.
And then where is the patience for the patients? All right, I'm gonna stop there.
No, keep going. No, that's
I'm just
good. No,
saying.
that's really good. I think that's why I really push for people I mean, even in what you're doing, the wellness is at the end of the day, try your best just to stay out the hospital, right? Just
Yeah,
keep up with yourself. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's busting at the seams right now.
yeah,
Healthcare is, and it's crazy. Like you were just talking about all the different hats we wear. I don't know about you because you and I we worked during COVID,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Girl, I was questioning my whole career. I was done. I don't know about you after COVID, but I was like, I
I
actually,
was burnt out.
I was burnt out, and I have my like I told you, I have my certified personal trainer certificate or whatever certification anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
I was using that. I was like, oh, I'm not nursing anymore. I took a whole year off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just I could not fathom going back into the profession.
No,
And so yeah, how was that for you after COVID?
it was rough. It was very rough, and I hope some of these people see it because I miss them. I do, but I don't. But I do.
Yeah.
Um, when I went to New York, first of all, let's back it up, okay? Because San Jose was something else when COVID first started. We
Mm-hmm.
was having to look and high and low for masks that management was hiding from us. But they wanted us to show up every day. They didn't know what was going on, but we couldn't have masks to protect ourselves from whatever
Crazy.
you don't know is happening right now. And
Crazy,
that
right?
that that felt like I'm sorry, I'm clutching my chest because it's like, well, I got to protect myself too. Why is PPE being restricted?
Yeah.
Shortage, yada yada yada. But come on now, get the mask and let us have them. We should be going home with a box of nurse at this point. Like, come on.
Talking about reusing them and put them in a paper bag.
Yes. And
That's silly.
so my frustration grew, but I felt violated. I felt betrayed because it's like I'm out here protecting the people, so I should be protected,
For
you
sure.
know? And so we transitioned over into New York, when things really got bad. And I became the nurse lead for essentially 90 nurses. It started out with 30 of us,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working the floor for a couple days. Then somebody who was over all the travel nurses was like, "Hey, I need you to be the leader of the nurses at Harlem Hospital." And so there was a designated person on day shift, a designated person on nights to be responsible for all
Uh-huh.
these nurses. It started out at 30, but girl, it got to 90. I had a 90 nurse roster, me, one
Wow.
person, 90 nurses during the day. Okay. Shit was overwhelming. We were working 72 hours a week. Okay. Yes, we got paid. It was overtime. It was overtime. We're working 72 hours minimum. Somebody better be getting broke off because I'm not seeing my family. I'm barely seeing sleep, and I'm seeing a whole lot of death, a whole lot of COVID. We should still be getting paid from that experience. We need PTSD pay for
Oh,
that
girl,
experience,
what?
okay? But it was
Man.
very rough. A lot of nurses were scared. Harlem nurses, a lot of them were gone either because they lost family, they were dying themselves, they were sick, and they were just flat out burnt out and getting overworked because it's 4 of them trying to take care of 40 people. And so we get there, and it's kind of all over the place. It's very sad. It's tragic, and we're trying to love up on the nurses that are there, and half of them are loving up on us too, and the other half is like, nah, let them do the work. They over there making 10,000 a week and stuff. Let them do it. I'm gonna go sit in this break room. The supervisors, nah, y'all go sit over there. Let them do it. And so me, as a leader of the nurses that are out on the floor right now, I got to go advocate for them. So I'm going floor to floor to floor to floor. And then they're at work. They don't have time to do laundry. One of them had a blew out a tire, meaning their shoes are bad and they're on their feet all the time. I'm going to get shoes. I'm going to do laundry, going to get food, making sure everybody's good. Go and find the one that's hiding somewhere in the hospital because she's too scared to work or too tired, and doing that for 6 months. I think it was 6 months, something close to that, from March to August nearly. So yeah, close. At 90 nurses, by the time I got to the end of it, I was burnt out. I didn't even want to hug nobody to say bye because I'm also a loner. So 90 people is overstimulated
I
for me.
bet. Oh,
And
girl, I get it.
addressing 90 needs and also dealing with hospital staff and them trying to either work for us, against us, depending on what day it was. And so that was a struggle, but we were a team of solid people. There wasn't a person in that hotel or in that group with us of travel people with crucial staffing and with all the other agencies that weren't solid. If you made it to the end or halfway or whatever, if you came in the first place, you were solid for trying, even if it was for money, because you knew you were about to get yourself into knee deep COVID poop, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but again, people like Mariah and all of her friends that I met, everybody was just solid and ready to roll up their sleeves and get in there and advocate and help people,
Yeah.
and tell these nurses about themselves who wasn't trying, like, look, this is somebody's family member. You about to get in here and do this.
Yeah.
You don't know how to do it? Don't worry about it. I'm going to show you,
Yeah. Yeah.
So debriefing back at the hotel after work was interesting because we learned and saw and experienced so many things and had some of our own suffering. And was scared to get sick because if you got sick, depending on the day, you also got sent home. So you're trying to protect your livelihood too. I'm not going to do all this work and get sick and get sent home. So
Man.
it was a lot going on. I did have some help towards the end. Her name was Desiree Calhoun. She is amazing. I hope I don't say this wrong, but I'm pretty sure she is a pediatric ICU nurse or
Okay.
neonatal ICU nurse. I
Okay.
can't remember. I think she's neonatal. But she's wonderful. She is a ray of sunshine. And when I was burnt out and down, she lifted me up. When I didn't want to talk to nobody, she took over. I mean, we
Yeah.
helped each other. She says I helped her for having her help me, but she helped me because a loner like me dealing with all this overstimulation was burnt out towards the end. So
I get it.
I forever am grateful for her existence and how amazing she is. She's an amazing person with a
Yeah.
wonderful personality, super sharp, great head on her shoulders,
Yeah.
hell of a sense of humor. She's a go-getter. Desiree is dope. She's out of Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's just dope, and she helped me towards the end manage those 90 nurses. Even when the military came into the hospital, we were helping them kind of
Yeah.
coordinate. They
Sure.
adapted our schedule of like
Mm-hmm.
coordinating nurses throughout the hospital. So it was a good experience. I was burnt out after that. I didn't want to do nursing anymore, but then there was a dire need in my hometown, Port Arthur,
Port
Texas.
Arthur.
I was like, well, I'm tired, but I can't go to New York and help and
And
not
my
go to
people
Port
in my
Arthur.
community. Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. So I did that for about 5 minutes till I couldn't do it no more. Because I also could. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest because now I'm seeing church members, distant cousins, and whatever in the ICUs, and I'm like, oh no, I can't handle this.
It's a little too close to
I'm in
home.
my hometown and I got to quarantine at this hospital 10 minutes away from the house I grew up in because I can't see my daddy because I don't want to get him sick. I don't want to get my parents sick because everybody's still scared. So this feels very close to like some form of imprisonment. I can't do it. No. So I was like, yeah, I was supposed to do 3 months there. And as a true travel nurse, when your time is up, your time is up. You know, sometimes they work out these assignments and sometimes they don't. But for me, I needed a mental health break. So I took a little bit of a break after that. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, kudos to you
Yeah.
for New York, you know, being the leader that you are in New York, 90 nurses strong,
Yes.
and just really seeing that through. So I knew a little bit about that, but I didn't know the details that you just shared. So for real, kudos to you. And again, like, this is what this platform is about too. Just, I think I don't know what's to come, but you know,
All
but just,
great things.
I mean, we're gonna claim that, yes, for sure. But just like now that we kind of reflect and be like, man, that's what that was like. I mean, like I started out, we haven't talked in 3 or 4 years, right? And just knowing, okay, now we can catch up. All
Yeah.
right, what happened? But
Yeah.
no, like I said, kudos to you for even going back to your hometown. And you tried, and like, it just sounded like it was a little too close to home, like seeing people.
In
So you
every
tried.
single word, yes.
Yes, yes. So, but those are the things that I don't think people realize that as nurses that we really, really dealt with. I mean, um, and just really that mental component. Like, yeah, we can get through it, but what after this is like the processing of it all. You know what I mean? Like, we were really called on. I mean, I say called on. I think, you know, obviously we're nurses, but like, you show up to work one day and it's like all of a sudden like, okay, yeah, we got a PUI. A PU what? Like, what's going on? Like, I never forget when COVID started. We had one patient because nobody knew what it was, right? And before you know it, like, now we're in it, you know. And it's like, okay,
Overnight. It was
overnight. That's
overnight.
exactly how I felt. Like, literally overnight, you know. So, but we got through, and we're here, 2025.
One more thing, Shanice, I don't know if you remember this, but one of my last days I spent at the San Jose hospital we worked at,
Uh-huh.
um, I was sick as a dog, and I was
You
sitting right
sure?
next to you.
You
And
sure
what I
was?
had like 101 fever. I think I might have showed you. It was like 100. I
Yes,
don't know.
because
It
you
was
left work.
over
You leave
101.
work. You left
Yeah,
work.
I had to leave work
Yeah.
because I was sitting there, girl. I was sick as a dog, and you were right next to me, and you were like, "Yeah, I think you need to go get seen."
Yeah. No.
And they couldn't tell me. They tested me, and he was like, I'll never forget. He was like, "I think it's flu B. I think you might have the flu," but it came back negative. My flu came back negative, and it was right when we had just got our first COVID patient, right? And at that time, I think might have been my first bout of COVID because I was having all the chest tightness. I had a little bronchitis after, and then after all that happened, I think was that after we went to Egypt together?
I don't know. I'm being
I
honest.
don't
All,
remember either.
all
Matter of
that was a
fact,
blur. All that was a blur.
it was a blur because the world shut down right after we got back. So
Oh,
no,
and I'm so glad. I'm so glad it was. I don't know about you, but now I can remember a lot. But I do remember coming back and being like, "Whoa!" I'm so
yeah,
glad we made it back because ain't no
yeah.
telling they would have let us stay over there. And I
Girl,
didn't.
we have still
We
been
in
in Egypt.
Egypt, but not worse than that. We was in Russia. Remember that little? Were you in the layover in Russia for
Yep,
like 30
yep,
minutes? I was
yep.
like, "Oh my god, get me out of here!
Mm-hmm.
Get me out of here!" Because it was scary. I
Yeah,
mean, just everybody was flat. I
yeah.
was, get me out. But I was scared.
Yeah.
But no, I really miss traveling. But no, the world did shut down when we came back because I remember people had on hazmat suits. It was just the whole nine. Oh yeah, because I just thought about it. We were on that flight, and remember, I was like, it was you and the other girl. Y'all was asleep, and I couldn't sleep. I was like alert on that flight. I don't know if you remember.
Nope. It's
You don't
gone.
remember? I was over here trying to take Tylenol PMs and everything to go to sleep. Y'all was knocked out, but I couldn't sleep because I was watching everybody else's behavior on the plane.
Yeah, no. I
No,
don't
you
remember.
remember? Oh, you done blocked all that out.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good time though. I mean, it was a lot of great moments though, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us a little bit about what your typical day looks like because of course, like you said, you're a mother of two little
Yeah.
ones. What 2 and 3? right?
Two, almost two, and
Almost,
yeah,
almost 2 and 3.
three
So
and almost two. Yes.
3 and almost 2. So, like, what does your typical day look like? You know, just merging those. Obviously, you got your professional world, but more importantly, you are a mother.
You know, I try my best to not wake up and there's an immediate list of things to do in my head, because that just starts the day off with a little bit of anxiety and being overstimulated already before my toddlers, because they're toddlers, they're loud, they're fast, they're busy. I need duct tape. Like, you know, I want to be present with them, and being present is a practice, and it's my biggest task because I don't want to be loving up on them and have my time with them and it be consumed with everything else I need to be doing, because what that translates to is overstimulation and me talking to them in a frustrated tone because I'm not present with them. I'm like, "Oh, I got a chart. Why don't you go sit down somewhere?" Or I got, and so at some point I just refuse. I refuse not to be present with them because life is just blowing by too fast. So I take those moments to be present, make them food, welcome them into the kitchen to help me. We eat good food,
Yeah.
I work out, they work out alongside me,
Oh,
you
nice.
know. We get outside, we get some sunshine on my off days, and then I try to focus on my side business. My partner and I, we are each other's babysitter. I do have my mom here who helps, but we've been blessed to be able to coordinate our schedule so that we rely on other people very minimally. When I'm at work, he's at home. When he's at work, I'm at home, and we coordinate our schedules like that.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, and so that's why those 312s in the urgent care, and I know every urgent care doesn't offer it, but girl, whoever's out there, if you are looking for 312s, look into the urgent care setting, as a nurse practitioner, because it does exist and it's wonderful. I want to spend more time at home than I do at work, but
Yeah,
still, I want that money to look like I'm spending more time at work, that it's
for sure.
efficient.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then in the urgent care, the girls are excited. They learn so much from me because I come home and not in great detail, but I debrief, at home about what my day was like, because it is so exciting. And
Yeah.
it's exciting for my partner to be like, man, did you see anything cool today? Did you do anything cool? Any crazy procedures? And most of the time it's yes.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's yes. Like, we had, like some chest pain or a patient you were going to ask me about some icks, and we'll get to that later, but one of my biggest icks in urgent care is, you know they don't tell you about their personal history, their significant medical history. Sometimes there's a form that they fill out and that says, what medications are you taking?
Hmm.
Do you have this medical history, diabetes, heart disease, whatever, whatever, whatever? And they're just trying to get seen, so they just draw a line across the whole paper
Yeah.
so they can get in to see me sooner. And I had one patient who I was doing wound laceration repair on. I was about to suture his hand, and I asked him, I said, any chance you got any significant medical history that would like inhibit us from being able to do this without complications? Like, is there anything? And he was like, well, I don't really like the sight of blood, but other than that, I'm okay. And I was like, all right, cool.
Mm.
Well, let me just set you up early. You got some music on your phone, sir? Play some music, whatever you want to play. You want to disturb me? I love this. I can
Yeah.
eat while suturing your hand, whatever. Get comfortable. I get you a fan. We ain't gonna close the door. We're gonna crack the door, pull the curtain, whatever. And his daughter comes in and is like, yeah, he fainted one time while he was, getting his blood drawn, so he could faint. And I was like, that's fine, let's get a little glucose packet in here just in case. I got this alcohol pad. I'm gonna make you snip, whatever it is. We could try to
Right.
prevent that, but it's good for me to know ahead of time.
Yeah.
And so not only does he faint, but he seizes.
Wow.
While I'm numbing him, I'm performing a digital block because he cut his finger really bad though. And like, some lacerations could look more dramatic than they really are, and it's easy for me to say because I'm the one that's used to this, right? But just
Sure.
that pad of your finger, your index finger has a lot of fat in this pad, and
Yeah.
as soon as you cut it, our skin is holding everything in. So as soon as you cut it, boom, that fat is just out there and it's looking real dramatic and like a real traumatic laceration, you know?
Uh-huh.
And so to the layman, it's like, oh God,
Yeah.
that is disturbing. And I'm about to go in shock, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he faints, but then he starts like seizing. And I'm like, I asked
No.
his daughter, I said, so this is his first seizure? And she was like, oh no, he does have epilepsy in his history. You know, so these are the things that, you know, sometimes we deal with. Sometimes, you know, like things can be more urgent or emergent than you anticipate. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's the day in the life of an urgent care person. You just never know what you're gonna see.
Yes.
Even if you think it's just gonna be simple, a little simple finger fix, you know,
Mm-hmm.
fixer
Mm-hmm.
upper. I also get to play Dr. Pimple Popper sometimes. People come in here with these abscesses out of
Oh, I have definitely had to experience that. So, as a
uh-huh.
patient, so
Yeah, I
as
love it. I love it. I love it all,
a
girl. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. You know, some toenail removals, you know, foreign body removals, and we're not gonna even go there.
yeah, yeah,
We can keep it PG. We can keep it PG and you know, toddlers. Toddlers be toddlering. And moving erasers, you know, the head of eraser from a pencil out of an ear, from up a nose, teaching moms. That's my favorite thing is like sometimes, especially as a new mom, because I'm still a new mom,
sure.
but there's a lot of anxiety because you don't know what to do. And you are solely responsible for keeping this baby alive. And sometimes moms come in there and they're like, you know, and needing help. And sometimes I make them do it. I help them do it because you're going to do this here in the urgent care. That way, when you get home and they do it again, you know
Yeah.
exactly what to do.
Because they're
I don't
gonna do it
want to
again.
handicap you by doing it for yourself. And so, this one really cool thing that we like to do, because toddlers always come in the urgent care with stuff up their nose,
Yeah.
is, you know, instead of going there probing it out and freaking it out and them inhaling it and it getting in their airway, you occlude the nostril, the unaffected nostril. Let's say you got a little Mardi Gras bead up the nose, and mom, just like they do in CPR, you make a nice seal with your own mouth on that baby. You occlude the unaffected nostril and you
Uh-huh.
forcefully, and that thing's gonna shoot out,
There
right?
you go.
Thank you for coming in here. I will get paid for this service, but I did have you do it under my close monitoring, you know. So in order to save yourself the copay next time, while I appreciate it, here's what you can do at home. Here's what you can do at home. And so there is it's a lot of fun, you know. Sometimes some days are darker than others because people are sick. My
Yeah.
favorite part is coaching prevention. Prevention, you know, is key. Education is key. Education is prevention. And so in the urgent care, you're supposed to turn them and burn them. And some of them I do, but some people deserve that time, you
Sure.
know. Yeah. So
Oh,
that's
that's
a day in the life. You know, it's a good time, but it also, I think it has helped me become stronger as a new mother because I see so many toddlers.
oh.
Mine got the sniffles, and I'm like, ugh. But when they were first born, it was like, oh my gosh, she has a runny nose. Like, what are we going to do?
Oh.
You know, and as a nurse, right, we work with mostly adults 18 and up, unless we're pediatric nurses, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so as a nurse practitioner, we treat everybody from baby all the way to grandma, 0 to 90 and up, you know?
Mhm.
And so that helped me refresh my pediatric skills too. And that's been wonderful.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's so good. Thanks for giving the people a little education on how to get a Mardi Gras bead out your baby's
Yeah,
nose.
little pearl.
They,
Save the day. Save you the day, the trip, and the copay.
and a copay. We're good. We're good. So, what has been your biggest challenge as a registered nurse, or yeah, as a registered nurse?
Yeah. Well, my biggest challenge as a nurse has been, I would say, having to nurse while healthcare is also simultaneously functioning as a profitable business, right? And so, like, trying to synthesize all that information, right? As a nurse, it's frustrating because, you know, I want to do nursing, but then there's all these other components of like staffing shortage and whatever else. And, the politics of nursing, right? That sucks and just drains the love and fun out of nursing some days.
Mm-hmm.
But in the nurse practitioner world, I have to focus on coding, right? So that I can be paid appropriately, but so that the insurance, the payers, these stakeholders can be happy with the way I treated this patient. But I got to check off all these boxes so that I can get paid for the care that I provided, and also they want me to see sick people in under 20 minutes flat, right? And they want those doors to keep swinging. And so there's a ratio in the urgent care too. Some urgent cares are slow and see 20 patients in an 8-hour shift. Well, that's not super slow, but that's steady. Or
Yeah.
even 12-hour shift. And there are some urgent cares that are busting out the seams. And solo provider clinic, mind you, it's just me in one urgent care and a couple of MAs, right? Yeah. And so that business aspect, I'll say, is my biggest struggle. Also, as a nurse, there's little respect for nurses, right? Because there's this hierarchy to within and to the outside world that MD is superior.
Mm-hmm.
I had one patient coming in saying, well, why do I have to pay so much if it's just a nurse practitioner back there? Shouldn't my pay be less? You know?
Ooh.
Yeah, and so while it doesn't, it's no blow to my ego, because
Sure.
I'm like, well, let me pick up that phone and call around and see if I can get you an MD. Let me do that. Let me do that for you, because it's not a big deal. You don't want to be seen by a nurse practitioner because you think you're gonna get substandard care. That's your personal issue, right? That is not
Right.
my problem. I'm here to provide the best care possible. And hey, my supervisor's an MD. We got resources here,
Yeah.
you know. And so I would say the politics, the business, that instead of just having my nursing mind and really trying to live up on the people would be my biggest struggle, is navigating both of those worlds and synthesizing all that information so that I can give the best care at the highest standard possible so that I can keep my license,
Sure.
right? And in a way that satisfies the business people.
For sure.
So got to keep
So
everybody happy. Sometimes,
they,
some days it feels like a game. You just got to play the game, you know? Yeah.
that's so true. Playing the game.
Mhm.
Now, with the, you speak to the business aspect of it. Uh, have you taken a lot away to even apply for, because you have your own business, right?
Yeah.
Is there a lot you're learning along the way? I'm sure.
There's a lot I'm learning along the way. I mean, what I'm learning is a lot of the medications, traditional medications we use, have off-label uses, and sometimes those off-label uses are far more beneficial. So I'm learning ways to try to tweak the care I provide by trialing medication, right? It's all a trial. Medicine is a practice, right? And so a lot of takeaways for me is like different ways I can use medication, and that people need wellness and prevention education, and are in desperate need of it. Nutrition education. A lot of people are like, hey, I'm really stuffy and I have seasonal allergies and I can't get rid of this congestion. Well, what did you eat today? Oh, Five Guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, a lot of the stuff that you're eating can cause you to produce more mucus. And so you're just packing mucus on top of mucus, when
Yeah.
really you should be combating that first with the things you put in your body that
Yeah.
are making your symptoms worse. And so we got to start there. But if
Sure.
I only have 15 minutes of time, we're going to walk away from this knowing that I could have spent 40 more minutes with you and you could have gotten so much education. So I got to make sure I print out some resources and get you there. And I'm at least giving you some nuggets of wisdom along the way.
Sure.
So I get it in. I just have to be concise because we all have needs, right? The business wants me to be faster, but guess what? There's patients in that waiting room that are expecting to be seen
Sure.
too. And they're going to want my time too. So it's a balancing act.
For sure. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you do an amazing job, though. Because
Yeah.
I remember working with you, and I know that you are a very, very thorough nurse.
Yeah.
That
And
I
I
do know.
care. I
And you care.
really care. I
Yeah, and
really
and
care.
and I want people to know that. Like I said, anybody who's thinking about coming into the profession, um, coming into the profession or new to the profession, is coming into it for the right reasons. Please just care about people. I know we talked about COVID. We talked about making the money and all that kind of stuff. Anything you do, you got to be passionate about. You actually have to genuinely care about people. And this is that profession. So just don't let the wrong things attract you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
like the dollar signs or like the title, because there's something somewhere in that experience that if it's all about the money, this experience, this role can make or break you.
Yep.
And when I mean break you, we see nurses that are in the news for manslaughter, for, you know, incorrect administration of a drug or administering the wrong drug and costing somebody's life,
Yeah.
and you have to be careful. You can't approach nursing haphazardly,
You
because
cannot.
once you put a drug in somebody's body, there's a lot of them that you can't reverse. Once it's
Right.
in there, it's going to do its thing. That mechanism of action is active,
Mm-hmm.
and so you really have to be mindful and care and take your time. It's only you that's going to protect your license once you get it. And the law is still very much in effect, and it can work for or against you, but you got to remember that component too. If you like your freedom, you don't go messing and playing with people's lives.
For
You
sure.
got to care to some extent,
You
to a
do.
very full extent,
Yeah.
but everybody's not all lovey-dovey and in your face and is going to rub your scalp and stuff like me. you
Yeah.
know you
Same.
don't even have to be that hands-on, but you do have to care.
You do. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Go ahead. Drop them that
Yeah.
wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. About to start snapping in here. No, that's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, that kind of leads to the next question. What piece of advice would you give specifically Black men and women who are pursuing this nursing path? Is it anything different than what you just said, or is there something additional that you would
Ooh.
give them?
So if you're going to go Black with it, there's
Come
so
on.
many different angles, right? But the first one is you got to represent, first of all. You got to represent for yourself and the diaspora if we're just talking about Black people, right? And there's a lot of things that work against us that try to, I guess, represent us in a negative light. And so you got to represent, you got to be strong, right? We got to be better than what our opponents are, even though, in a lot of aspects, we already are superior, just from genetics alone. But from the inner workings of society, on the outside, we have fallen short of that, and we succumb to like societal pressure and conditioning. And so I say, if you're going to be a Black person in healthcare, you got to stand on your own 2 feet, and you have to navigate the world knowing that you don't have the privilege that many other people do have, right? But use it to your advantage, right? And you just got to be sharper, smarter, harder, and got to have that hustle spirit in you that you're going to win anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so don't let that overcome you, and don't ever let race be a thing. At the end of the day, you're still a human pumping blood through your veins. Like, that is what it is. Just like the air we breathe, it's going to be there. And you just
Yeah.
got to you have to do anyway. Network, find mentors, anybody that'll help you, right? It could be for anything, even if it's somebody that'll help you manage your time better.
Yes.
Time management is key. A therapist to help you, combat your stress. If you're somebody who likes to tussle when you feel violated, but you also want to be a nurse. If you're a mean girl or had a mean girl tendencies in your past, but you also want to be a nurse, please don't let that bleed over into, your profession. Seek therapy. Because once you get to that point where you and I are, Shanice, where we want to build our own empire, we want to do healthcare our own way. It's going to be our own baby. It's our own license. And you mean to tell me a patient swinging on you or cussing you out, or a
Yeah.
charge nurse not treating you right, you're going to sacrifice all that hard work? So I say, if there's anything that is, getting in your way, if it's you getting in your own way of you know, you reaching the pinnacle of what you determine to be your success, exhaust all resources to help you along the way. We all need guides. Nobody is God. Doctors aren't God. Your instructors, your mom and daddy, nobody. Everybody is a guide. It's a journey. We're all on a journey, and you need guides. Stop and read a book. Make time for yourself. Love up on yourself. You know, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And so
Girl, if I ain't said
you,
that a
you
million times. Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
you have to equip yourself so that you can go out there and be your best every day. You know, time is essential, but it's going to continue to pass. So don't procrastinate. If you are thinking about doing something, just do it. Just do it. Do a little bit that'll contribute to your dreams or your goals every day, and you will get there. Even if it's, you know what, I need to stop swinging on people when they disrespect me. I need to stop raging out in traffic.
Yeah.
You know, all these things that can change your life in the blink of an eye is what you should focus on, you know, to try to be better just for yourself. So, I mean, it's not so much for Black people, but it's just that, you know, like, I don't know, just stay vigilant, stay strong. Don't
Yeah.
get complacent. Don't get lazy, right? You can do anything, or you can do nothing at all. It's really up to you. The world is in your hands and you control it all, right? If I want to go have a good day, I'm gonna do just that. If I want to have a bad day and be all sad and complain about something I can't even control, that's exactly how my day is gonna be. It's gonna be absolutely miserable. Control what you can control. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if that was for the people listening, for
Or,
it was
or
for
for you,
me.
right? It was for me too. It was for me too. A lot of the stuff I say is because I'm also like coaching myself. It's
Yeah.
just friendly reminders, you know, because we wake up and then we take a stab at it every day,
Yeah.
you know, and it's your choice. How do you want your day to go? It might be your last day, so you going how you want it to go? How you want this to go? You know, you ask yourself that question, and I think if you wake up wanting to have a good day, wanting to be great, that's exactly what's going to happen. But
For
if you're
sure.
dwelling on stuff, if you're worried about gossip, what somebody else think, what somebody did to you every day, it's going to be a long road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's tough. That's why it's important to even be mindful of the things you take in. You
yeah.
know. So, oh
Yeah.
man, oh, you just dropped a whole lot of knowledge and wisdom. Aisha's gems, y'all.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah. You touched on this. I mean, you basically said it, but just the importance of mentorship. That's something um, I preach a lot about because I had some wonderful mentors along my journey. Starting out and even still. Do you mentor anybody? Have you received mentors? Well, I think you talked about that too, but um,
um,
the importance of
so I am currently missing an opportunity to mentor. There's a girl that I was treating in clinic who's in nursing school who wanted to shadow me in the urgent care, but I'm leaving. And I'm like, girl, I'm a BPR and you're not going to really get too much from me. I'm about to leave the country. So but she can access me virtually. So usually,
sure.
like, I'm very quick. Anybody who's a nurse that comes in the urgent care, I'm doling out my email, phone number. Like, girl, let me tell you about these travel contracts. Let me tell you about these strikes. Let me tell you about this nursing program. And don't go here, save your money, you know. So I will say I mentor for anybody with an open heart and open ears and wants to learn, you
That is
know.
key. That's important.
Yeah. And, you know, as far as me having a mentor, I will say I've had some scattered throughout my life. But one thing about me is that I'm really such a loner, you know, like I could probably use a mentor that's somebody that is where I want to be.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have that right now. And I think maybe I just need to make room on my plate for it.
Yeah.
But my social battery, I don't always have the bandwidth to do
Oh,
this,
you
that.
sound like me. I'm all about the bandwidth, and sometimes it's not there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what bandwidth?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, but I know what I want and I'm really determined and I just believe everything will happen or as organically as it has been and as it will. So I'm sure there's somebody out there while I'm, you know, working on my business that I will find that will kind of help me excel, be the wind beneath my wings. But right now, no, I don't have that. Could I use a mentor so that I can level up? I believe it's essential. I think absolutely. But right now, my best mentor is my solitude so that I can slow life down and just think and breathe and focus. Deep breathing saves lives. I swear to you, so.
Oh, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real. You know how many times a day I have to remind myself to breathe?
Yeah.
No, it's serious. Be like,
Yeah. Because
okay, like, because this thing right here, it'll keep going, and it's like, I know people are, how do you forget to breathe? No, it's very possible.
you do. You're just
You,
literally hypoventilating all day and wondering why you got a headache.
There you go. You've said so many wonderful things, but no, I like what you said. Your mentorship is your solitude. You create that for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But good. You know, uh, how important is representation of Black nurses in media in society? Like how important is that?
Uh, I'm a little torn on that.
Okay. Well,
Because
keep it. Hey, whatever you feel.
I'm torn because as long as we're out there helping people, representation is going to be whatever it is. People curate the experience based on whatever agenda that they're trying to push, right?
Mm.
And so we can do our best. We can be the best nurse. But if a reporter decides she wants to spin this story to make it a little bit more captivating for the audience, then that could just be we can be misrepresented like in an instant, right? And so it's a big deal that we go out there, we show up, and we do our best. And we don't end up on the news for negative things. Just like, I don't know if you remember, was it 2021, 22, where there was a nurse in LA who like crashed, and that was devastating.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing was that she's a nurse, she's a nurse, she's a nurse, she's a nurse, she's a nurse. But it's like, there's people out here doing this all day. But it's just 1 minute you trust us during COVID, and the next minute we're bad people, right? And it doesn't help that we're Black and we're not perfect, and that we
Man.
go through things and that our needs aren't being met because, the social disparities, the disparities in healthcare, right? Somebody needs mental health, might even need a psych hold, but don't get it. And we're out there in the streets because we got to do our job. We got to show up. And then crap hits the fan. And now everybody's reactive. Oh, now I'm going to this psych hold.
Girl, that's
So
real.
representation matters. I hope that I have the opportunity one day to continue to share whatever it is that I know. And I hope we all do the same, so that, you know what? Here's where representation matters. There is a lack of education in healthcare as it is, right? People who don't work in healthcare don't know anything at all. But here's where it matters. If we could put our faces out there and be on the TV screen in the homes of people who need to learn about healthcare and certain procedures from people that look like them, I think it would change the world. I think it would change so much because in the hospital setting, we're just dropping all of this medical knowledge, or even in any setting, in the urgent care. And these patients don't know what you're talking about. They don't understand a thing. And if they don't understand a thing, how can they ever advocate for themselves?
Ever. Yeah.
And so we need to be advocates. We need to be out there making sure people are making sure we're coaching prevention, or that there's some kind of a liaison or a middleman to help you, I don't know, digest whatever information you might be receiving from
Yeah.
whoever your doctor, because they don't, you just saying yes and doing whatever and managing disease when we need to be preventing it, one, and then eradicating it too,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sometimes that's not happening because there is a lack of communication, a lack of clear understanding of what's going on. And so I think if we could best represent, it would be that even if it's just amongst our families, like, look, we need to have quarterly meetings about prevention of healthcare. What are you doing to try to stay out, keep yourself out of the hospital? How's it going? How's your life? You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I think we just need to be in the community and not so much worried about like media or press. But if we're in it, Lord, please make sure it's good.
No, for sure.
Always, if you're gonna put a stethoscope decal on your car, or I work in healthcare, a healthcare hero, please don't have road rage. Please don't be like, please don't do crazy things, because that's a quick way, because you're gonna forget while you're in traffic that you got this decal on the back of your car that says you're an ICU nurse and you're out here misrepresenting, right? So in
Yeah.
all aspects of life, you know, just put your best foot forward.
Man, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said a whole lot. Kind of backtrack to what you said, you know, in terms of like how nurses have been, you know, represented even with that situation in LA. That's why I do hate that even during COVID, like they attached that healthcare hero to us. Like I really hate that hero thing because
Mm-hmm.
I think it sets up this kind of just this false representation, and then you're not allowed to be human. You're not allowed to make mistakes. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Kind of what you said. Like, wait, 1 minute you trusted this, and then the next it's like, wait, don't put me on that pedestal, because at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, nursing, being a nurse is a role,
Yep.
right? It's a role, but it's not my whole existence, right?
Nope.
But no, and just as quickly as people put you on a pedestal, they'll take you down. So
Yep.
you just have to just be aware of that. But he said a lot of wonderful things. But to your point, like I said, like True Vessel Health, um, that's what that was created for, community work. And
Yeah.
and of our five core values: health literacy, patient advocacy. Those are,
Yes.
yeah, we got five core. Yeah, we don't play about them core values. So we do a lot of community work. And so a plug here: if you anybody listening is interested in volunteering or setting up any kind of community education, webinar, seminar, excuse me, email me, Shanice at truevesselhealth.org. And so we're big about that. We have somewhat of a footprint in New Orleans. We started in Houston, developing some relationships. So really big on that. And I've been hearing, you know, a lot of nurses want to do wonderful work. And I really believe our communities need it. So anyway, like I said, if you're interested in doing any of that, please don't hesitate to send me an email. We are establishing a lot of great partnerships, relationships, and sponsorships. So we need a lot of people doing some good work. Our communities need us. So that was throw that on in there.
Yes. As you should. As you should. I mean, word of mouth is key. And
Oh
somebody out there needs exactly what it is that you're doing.
no, yeah, for sure.
A lot of somebodies.
A lot of somebody's.
A lot of somebodies.
Oh, good to know. But no, but yeah. And then even you, Hopeful Journey Wellness. I'm look, like I
Mm-hmm.
said,
Yeah,
that's
let's
what this
talk
class.
about it.
Yeah, so I want to. You told me it's your children's name, correct?
Yeah, my babies. Hope and Journey. Hope and Journey. And I mean, I really feel like it says a lot about my life and personality how I named my kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially with you knowing me, you know, even for as little or as long as you have. It just kind of makes sense, right? And so
Absolutely.
Hopeful Journey Wellness, what it is it's it's in the name, right? It is a journey that we hope will lead to a lifetime of wellness and not disease, not getting to the point where we are in our older years and the loudest noise is disease. Now we got to deal with chronic disease because we work so hard. We didn't have time for such and such to focus on prevention in the first place. Now we got to combat chronic disease in our older years or even in our younger years. A lot of people our age, I'm sure that you know, maybe from your hometown, that are, you know, unfortunately suffering from chronic disease, preventable chronic disease. And so the mission for Hopeful Journey Wellness is just all about teaching and coaching prevention. You know, I like root cause medicine, or AKA functional medicine. So essentially, that is what we will be doing. We offer functional medicine services, hormone replacement therapy. You and I can talk about that later. Weight loss, meal plan, personal fitness plans, all of the things under one umbrella for one purpose, and that is prevention of disease and promotion of
Yeah.
optimal wellness. And so, how I would like to approach my community of patients is we can't really treat nothing if I don't know what you look like on the inside. I need labs, right? And so it's functional lab testing. If I'm telling you you need to supplement vitamin D, girl, do you know that chronic vitamin D deficiency is like a precursor for one, cancer, but essentially chronic disease as a whole? And a lot of us are vitamin D
Deficient
deficient.
for sure.
Yes, but here's the
That,
other thing. Especially in healthcare, we're looking for normal ranges. As long as somebody is in a normal range, then we're good. We don't have to worry about it. You're in normal range. But normal is not optimal, right? If the lowest, let's say the low number of a vitamin D level, the low normal is 30, 29, 30, and you're at 31, you don't think you're going to have some symptoms? You don't think you are still in some type of vitamin deficiency, being right at the low cusp, but you're at the normal range, so nobody's going to replace your vitamins. Oh, just take some. But imagine if your vitamin D levels were on the higher end of normal at an optimal level, what that could be doing for your organs, right?
yeah.
Same thing with a thyroid panel. Oh, it's normal, but I'm on that lower end, which that means I'm on the borderline for hypothyroidism. And well, I'm losing my hair, but well, it can't be that because you're in normal range. No, that's not where we are with our lab work at Hopeful Journey Wellness. We want to optimize your labs, right? I want to see what's going on so we can replace your nutrient deficiencies at the very basis, right? Because sometimes a nutrient deficiency is the root cause of all these other problems.
For
So we're
sure.
focusing on that and starting from the ground up. And you can personalize or pick and choose, call it concierge, whatever. But through our service, it's really patient focused. We start with lab work so I can get to know you, and it's not just me going off of what you say. We're gonna let this body talk, right? And then go from there. So if you just need a meal plan, one of my favorite, components of the business is that I offer food tours. A food tour, what is that? So basically, if
you
you
know,
allow me to, I'm gonna tour your pantry, right? Because I can't give you a meal plan and you just made groceries yesterday, and I'm expecting you to go and eat off of what I said, and you have none of that. You have
now
none.
I'm about to eat these groceries real quick.
I'm gonna
We're
eat
gonna
these
talk about.
groceries. But then you also want semaglutide, and now you're having side effects, and now it's all these things, and you're gonna leave me the guesswork to see what's going on. No, 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 no. I want to know if you're really gonna invest in me, I'm a return that investment right back into you, and we're gonna do it from
Yeah.
the ground up. You don't have to be that, I guess, offer me that much detail, but if you welcome me to really help you, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. We're going to study ingredients, and I'm going to give you some alternatives to some of the things that you love to snack on. There are alternatives that either taste the same or better that you just haven't been exposed to. I want to know your address. Where do you live? Because guess what? After we hang up on this consultation and you decide to book with me, I'm going to research all of the food options around you.
Ah,
And
that's
let's
what.
see, you like to eat takeout and you don't cook. You only own a pot to boil water. Cool. Well, I'm going to study the menus of the places you like to frequent, and we're going to go from there. You gotta make it personalized,
That's beautiful.
and so we're going to be doing a lot of things. Oh God, I feel like I sound like somebody.
You do. You
But I
do.
have a lot to offer, and it's
You
really just
do.
birthed from love, because that's where I'm guinea pigging myself right now. I've been guinea pigging myself for a long time, because chronic disease we're surrounded by it. That's my first lesson, is I don't want this to happen to me, so how can I prevent it? I'm all about prevention. I do not want to see the inside of a hospital unless it's an emergency and I need my life to be saved, but not for something that I could have prevented a long time ago.
Yeah.
And the people aren't to blame. Yes, we have bad habits, but we're being fed a lot of things that are poisoning us slowly. And we can't afford life, so we're working. We're too busy to stop and slow down and realize that the very thing that we're consuming is harming us. And we do this for all these years, expecting a miracle from all of our organs to just keep on turning after all of this abuse. Ain't that you gonna run out of cheeks, you know? So prevention is key. The hormone replacement therapy, we talked about that during our break. But girl, after having a baby and being now I'm in my late 30s.
Isn't that crazy to say? Thank God
A
for the
moment of
years, but
silence for being in the late 30s, right? And still feeling 20, thank God. But
hey, hey, seriously, like especially up here, I didn't tell you probably about almost a month ago now. I went and played basketball because I like to stay in shape, right? Girl, I
mm-hmm,
go play basketball and I hurt my foot, I hurt my heel, and it's an
oh,
old injury. Like, I have plantar fasciitis, but I mean, I was scoring, I was doing the things, and I went up for this.
mm-hmm,
I had sprung up for this rebound.
oh.
I felt something pop. I was like, oh, yeah, that ain't good. But it just goes to like kind of speaking to like I still mentally like I still be ready to go. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there are some I probably could have stretched more or
Yeah,
warmed up a little bit better. But like the mind is willing.
yeah, yeah,
But my body said, "Sweetheart, we 37. Can you like
yeah.
slow down a little bit?"
You're right. Did you think about that? Maybe grab a bag of Epsom salt after this because we're gonna need it. Yeah.
Man, right, right. But not to mention, I'm traveling for work, so I only have a stand up shower. So I'm like, how we gonna figure this out? Then I had to go to work the next 2 days. It's just been a thing.
Mm-hmm. The
But
body is different. These 30s are different, and it's
they
like
are
you have
different.
to adjust. You can't do. That's what I'm realizing. I've been trying to like increase my weight in the gym, and I told you I was a dual sport athlete, and we were doing Olympic style weightlifting, all the cleans and jerks and whatever, and squats on the barbell, and like I was able to put that weight up quickly. Girl, I call myself having like there's this term called Squattober, and you do squats for every day in October and you build up your squats. Well, I was having a squatch because I ain't doing it in October. I was doing it in March. Okay. And so I call myself trying to increase my weight. And after the first week, I woke up with a little bit of neck stiffness. I was like, all right, I could roll that out with the foam roller. I got the whole arsenal, and my whole month of March just disappeared because I was just having muscle pain that started from my IT band and worked its way all the way up to my neck and around my chest. And nothing was going to fix that but God and like massages every 2 weeks and stretching and things. And it's like, damn, I lost my March. I lost. I was like,
Oh my
this
gosh.
for most of March because I tried to go at it like 20-year-old Aisha and not 37-year-old Aisha. And I'm not perfect. You got to do baby steps. I'm guinea pigging myself. So I'm putting myself through my own workouts, while I'm creating these beautiful programs for other people. I'm just going at it in the gym and just doing whatever to me,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And so,
Well, that makes me feel better because I have had the same experience even with the neck, right? Because I do the
mhm.
weights, and so I went and bought me a massage gun because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, girl, I believe in all of that because I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean that recovery is, and then I
Mhm.
got then I got some Voltaren over here and some BioFree.
Girl, me too. Okay. Are we the same? Yes.
Like it's just come to that, but it's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, I just thank God that I can move and I
Yes.
have the ability. So hey, like I said,
Movement is
if I got to
key.
stretch
If
a little
you
bit
don't
more,
move it, yes. If you don't move it, you're going to lose it.
you gonna lose it. You gonna lose
Moving.
it.
You need skeletal muscle. Ladies, get in the gym, lift weights. You need skeletal muscle to help prevent osteoporosis,
Absolutely.
fractures that's going to affect your quality of life later.
Yep. And
Okay.
debunk the myth. You will not get bulky like a man because
No.
that's the number one thing that gets
You
said. And it's
you
like
might get
no.
thick as cold peanut butter, but ain't nobody going to be mad at that. Okay. All right.
That's real. That's real. That's real. We're good. We're good. Well, look. So this has been an incredible interview. I am so glad that you took the time to share like what you've been up to. Life as a nurse practitioner. life as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
You are a business owner. You got Hopeful Journey Wellness. You're about to move to Costa Rica. I mean, you just got
Yeah,
a lot,
Costa Rica. Yeah.
which I did not know was a 3-hour flight away from Houston.
I'll
So I
keep
mean,
it a jump. Come
I
visit.
oh, you already
Okay.
know,
A
girl.
little plug. My partner he is training to become a therapist right now. And whether he'll be joining Hopeful Journey Wellness or doing his own thing, I'm gonna use them because I mean therapy. We talked about depression and obesity a while back, right? And they correlate, one causing the other kind of thing. And where I would like to tap into the therapists out there is before you are diagnosing your patients with depression and getting them on these medications and stuff, get their labs, okay? Look at their labs and things like that. Have them, tap in to, especially if you're a PMHNP, then you can do it all in a sense. But if you're just the LPC or a therapist and things like that, collaborate. Collaborate so you can really get the most out of your patients, because if they're vitamin D deficient, if they're anemic and all that stuff, yes, they're gonna feel like crap, they're gonna be depressed, they're gonna have low energy levels, which is gonna depress them further, or which will cause more anxiety, when really they just needed to start taking some multivitamins.
That
Okay,
simple.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Like I said, I mean, you've been dropping nuggets the whole interview, so I'm not even surprised by that. You are extremely just intelligent and just not even just in the book smarts, just like life and wisdom. So you just have so much to offer the world. So I hope you stay on this wonderful path that you're on with Hopeful Journey Wellness and all that you're doing. So tell the people, where can they find you? How can they access you? I know you got a lot
Okay,
of
so
transition going on, but
yeah, and I told you I'm a loner. Okay, so social media and me, we are in a relationship, one that is it's my most dysfunctional relationship to date. Because I like my privacy, I like my solitude, and so now I'm trying to put that on the back burner so that I can promote this business. So right now we're under construction. I'm currently developing all of my social media pages. I do have a website, www.hopefuljourneywellness.com.
okay,
And we're still building. So I'm hoping to do a launch in the summertime, ideally June. So maybe we can touch base again when I'm ready to launch, and then we can go live
absolutely.
and we can seek and find and go from there. So your girl is in process right now.
That's okay. That's
Yes.
wonderful. You've got it started. So, like I said, this is the platform for that, where somebody's going to need something that you're offering, and even
Yes.
to even be able to assist in adding to what you're already offering and getting it out there. So,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, again, thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you to Aisha. Guys, tune in to our next episode. We got some wonderful people coming up. We have a major nurse expo. I will be doing a live show, but more information on that to come. Again, follow us on Instagram and our website, the Bedside Report. You can see our latest newsletter and just kind of stay in the know what we have going on. Until next time, love y'all.